Hey guys, what's going on? It's Canadian 04 4x4 here, and today I'm doing an install video of my Phantom Series high clearance bumper from Arc One Industries. So this video is going to be all time lapsing because of the inconvenience it would be for me to try and record and talk every 5 seconds in a video. It's just a lot easier to put the time lapse on, and we have a DigiPower big power bank for these GoPros, so I just let that thing record hours on hours. It's probably about 6 or 8 hours worth. I mean, we started at like 9 o'clock in the morning. We didn't finish till 6. This was including installing the bumper and the sliders. Sliders took a little longer because Taco was a mess under there and blah blah blah. You can see that on the next video of my sliders. But for the high clearance bumper, it was pretty smooth sailing. I mean, Michael knew what he was doing. I mean, it's his design after all, so it went pretty smoothly. Another thing that was time consuming though too was wiring up a few things, but that's because of my truck and whatnot, so don't take into account for the time that we did it, because I had extras and he cleaned some stuff up, which Michael, you're still amazing for that, by the way. I know he's gonna watch all these videos because he's gonna judge me. He's also gonna probably hate me because I've got some of him in the footage, but he looks pretty, and if you guys don't like Michael, then I'm booting you away from him. That guy is amazing. He goes above and beyond for you. He knows what he's talking about. He knows what he's doing. You can trust everything he says. And not only that though, you can trust his products. And I am not doing no sponsorship or sellout or anything. I'm doing this simply to help Michael because he is so damn busy out there. He doesn't have any time to make videos, and I know a lot of you guys out there don't know how to read. Sorry, not sorry. Why? Because I know for a fact I've dealt with this a lot with people that just don't care to read or anything. But his instructions also for anything he makes is pretty much on point, because he takes pictures, he circles things for you, he goes into depth as much as he can. He lays everything out just so you guys can do the install as clean as possible and as fast as possible. Probably take you about 8 hours to install it, depending on your conditions and what you have for tools or whatever. So let's just say 8 hours at the most there. I mean, it took me like 12 hours to do a front bumper before, so that was not fun. We all know how that went. That was like 4 in the morning kind of deal, right? So, but the install video is coming right now for you guys. I hope you enjoy it. I try and go into much detail as I can for you guys and describe everything, so enjoy it. And yeah, just enjoy the damn thing. God, there's not much else you need to do. Alright guys, step 1, remove your factory bumper. Take out all the hitch bolts underneath there. Just take the whole thing off. Being that I had a do-it-yourself tube bumper, it was a little bit easier and take no time at all, so I was pretty much ready to go. So what we're doing here is getting the laser out, laying out tape. It was a little bit difficult with my Raptor liner, but we got it to stick pretty well. Just had to really smack it in there. Michael was setting up all the tape and then got the laser levels there, and as you see all the paint lines there. I'm going to try and post as many pictures as I can, and I will also have a link in the description for all the photos I took of this, so you guys can use them. If when you're installing it, you can use them as references. So being that Michael does make these bumpers and fabbed it up, I mean, he's the perfect one to show exactly where to level everything. So I took as many pictures as I could for you guys, and it went on really smoothly. It took him 3 minutes to cut the one side, and then the other side took a little bit less. So, but as we're going through here, I will just keep going on about what we're doing here, so everything is as clear as can be for you guys. But like I said, it's pretty straightforward, and you guys will all have instructions to go with this. So this is just to give you guys another point of view and understand, and maybe hopefully help you install this bumper. I loved it. I was doing whatever I could to help Michael and make it as fast as possible. I was learning lots, and he definitely showed me how to use a grinder nicely, that's for sure. I'm horrible with grinders, so I mean, watching him, it was amazing to see. He just did it with no sweat. It was great. Moving along, so as you see on my front there, I saw some mud in there I didn't like, so I had to remove it. So what we're doing here now is test fitting the bumper after the first initial cut to see how the gapping is all around. So we're putting up our 130-pound bumper up top there. So the difference in weight also to keep in mind, guys, is only about 40 pounds from Michael's to this, because the hitch itself on the factory is just all the weight pretty much, and then whatever structural support you have left from the factory plastic there. So yes, no, we just had to do a second cut. And at the same time, as you see, we're removing the bed here simply because of the gapping on the top. It's touching the bumper too much, so We removed the 2 back bolts and we were putting some washers in there. We started with 3 and then we ended up with just 1 on the driver's side. And then we also put another one up farther up as well, just to kind of even it out on the driver's side. I think there's just weight, or it's just all my body flex from over the years. It's hard to say. That was the one thing we had to do to make this bumper fit nicely on the gap. Definitely recommend 2 people to put the washers in, otherwise you are gonna have a heck of a time just lining up the bolt holes and whatnot. So now we just have to take it off, make our final cut. I'm spray painting all the little bare metal spots. Right after he did the final cut, what I took was a microfiber with some black spray paint. Just soak your towel with spray paint and then dab it onto your cut lines, just so you can put some paint on the edges there so you don't try and rust it for the future to come. I'm also taping up the end guards there, and I'm just spray painting everything kind of black to blend it in, so it's kind of whatever. It's just little touch-ups. I mean, you don't have to do this if you don't want to, but just like I said, now we're just the final step just before you put on the bumper now is the molding, I guess you could say. So you want to protect the body line a little bit more. With Michael's stuff, we also put some JB Weld in it with the adhesive because heat and glue do not really mix, so you want to make sure it sticks. My other recommendation would be Gorilla Glue. Just make sure you don't touch it at all and stick it on there, and that's it. It took a little bit to dry for me, that's why I was sitting there for so long, because it kept falling down a little bit, but eventually dried up pretty good and we're set. So that's the final prep step, and then the last thing you gotta do is just get your buddy, or if you're doing it by yourself, well, good luck, and slap up that bumper and get the bolts on there and tighten them down as tight as you can. Basically, they were tight. I mean, for me to get them off was ridiculous. So as long as you make sure they're nice and snug, whether or not you have an impact or if you just got a 3/4 inch wrench or a big wrench, go for it. But otherwise, that's about it, guys. I mean, it's pretty simple to put the bumper on. To conclude the video, minus my little walk around I'm going to show you guys here in a minute, I have a 3-minute video of Michael cutting the passenger side of my bedside. So if you want more reference or more info, or just to see what the cutting process was like and how good he is with that grinder, well, the last 3 minutes of this video is that part, so enjoy. What I have here is probably the best looking high clearance 3rd gen Tacoma bumper out there on the market right now. Why? Well, because it's Canadian designed, of course. Us Canadians know what we're doing over here. No, it's just actually a sexy ass bumper. This is probably the best purchase of my life. Thank you, insurance claims, right? Yeah.
I don't need to tell you that it's over. And I know if I come any closer, I don't need to tell you that it's over. And I know if I come any closer.
No, guys, so what we got here is a badass high clearance bumper from Arc1 Industries. It's the Phantom series. So I've got the Stealth series up front and then a Phantom in the back because, well, I mean, I don't want to match all the series. I got to get the high clearance. I mean, I know I'm going to be scraping stuff up, so I need all that protection I can get. Especially considering I had a huge dent on the other side from an accident. I pulled out a Sequoia in the snow, and he apparently doesn't know what his brake pedal is, so he went smack dab right into my tube bumper I had back in the day that was homemade and stuff, and he pushed it into my bedside. So I had all this damage right here. So, well, what better solution than to cut it and just put a bumper there, right? Like, best decision I ever made, absolutely. And not only that though, I mean, other than, you know, typical leakage from aux beam, I got him to bolt in some hazard lights for me because everyone, well, I guess you guys don't know too much about it, but we have a local group called 306 Recovery, and we go out helping people whenever someone's stuck or broke down or whatever. And it's just a good Samaritan act that we do, and that's how I got covered under this insurance claim for the rear bumper. So I got paid out for the bumper, or this side of the bumper, so I paid a majority of my high clearance bumper. It's perfect. So, but what we got here all around, hazard lights, LED lights, and aux beam flush mounts. So nothing too fancy in there, just amber and white hazards, and then aux beam 4-inch flush mounts that are discontinued. But there is another company he's using, it's called Extreme LED, and those are I'd probably say they're better quality. They definitely look the same, and of course there's always products out there that are similar, but I would probably trust those Extremes over the aux beams because I sold aux beams for a while. I mean, I'm the one that sold Michael these two at first just so he can compare them, and then he brought a few in as well for himself. So, but yeah, this is the bumper, guys. It's sexy as hell, and the install was fun on this, that's for sure. Michael did some perfect cutting on it. At the same time, we had a few, I wouldn't say it was complications, but a few little tweaks we had to make. As I say in all the time-lapse video there for you guys, make sure you just watch your spacing and make sure you also double check it after even a day of driving, because when I drove it home, the gapping was moved, so you just got to loosen off the bolts and adjust it again and then tighten it down again. If you have to, if you find that you're not having enough spacing, then you got to undo your bed bolts on either side, preferably 2 people for this, and you got to go in there and put some washers in there just to kind of space it up a little bit. So it's going to vary on every truck. I mean, brand new trucks might be a different thing versus a truck that's 5 years old already with a lot of abuse and a lot of off-roading, right? Yeah, no, this bumper is beautiful. I haven't put it to use yet, but it's plenty strong, that's for sure. I mean, the gussets on this thing is absolutely ridiculous, right? I mean, you guys seen the photos there. Like, oh man, best purchase I ever made. And honestly, guys, like, come on, it just looks amazing. Like, wow. Clearance 4 days. Perfect. She's fixed. It's actually straighter.